Everyone, Dr. Nick here, and it's a Clear Vision 2020 future coming at us. And it's my first day back to work, and I thought I would reach out to the community, the tribe, and sort of talk about what's going on in this new year. For us, Dr. Sonia and I usually talk about our new year on our birthdays, because for us, that's our yearly cycle. But obviously, collectively, we're all moving through something. And I don't know if any of you have an experience that comes when the new year is upon you, and we have all these big expectations for change and transformation and growth, and then it feels like the same old, same old. Like all of a sudden, when the year of 2020 hits, all of a sudden everything's magically different, and we put a lot of emphasis on change and change in a year and change in a number. And there, from a numerology perspective, absolutely, there's a whole lot of different energy dynamics that come into 2020, or that come into a new year with a new number set. And but if we don't change, if we don't do the effort and the work to expect something different, everything will be kind of the same. It's crazy to look and see the world around us right now, the fires in Australia, all the chaos in the Middle East, and our neighbors to the south, and then there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the external world. There's a lot going on in our own lives, and it's really easy to get lost in all the trauma and the chaos and the stress of it all, and forget ourselves. There's just too much going on, so we're not going to focus on self-care. And, if I've learned anything over the years, it's being a doctor and helping people, it's really been that, if we don't take action to learn self-care for ourselves, if we don't actually make an effort for change, no change is going to show up. We know the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting things to change. And we know that change does not come without us choosing something differently. Something that Sonia and I do all the time is choose our word of the year, and she tricked me this year and came up with a phrase and questions to ask herself, which I think is beautiful. And my word of the year was radical trust, and moving into an energy of, whatever's coming, in the external world that we can, not really control. We have to trust that it's part of our growth. And, with all the chaos that's going around us, maybe there's some level of trust that there's going to be a rise in the human spirit, and we're going to overcome, and we're going to learn our lessons. And that's part of the identity that we all need to step into, is that we have to take ownership. We have to start to take responsibility for our health and for the things that show up in our lives. And we want to reach more people. We want to reach out to the community. We want you guys that are adopting these lifestyle practices to reach out to your families and to help to teach, because there needs to be a message of hope. And there needs to be a message of hope for our own lives and our own victories and our own challenges that we go through. So I'm encouraging you, write down what are your victories, what are your questions that you have for yourself this year, what are your challenges maybe that you're going through, and how are you going to do things differently this year? What does that look like for you? What does life look like for you? Now, something that Sonia and I obviously do a lot of is we go on retreats, we lead retreats, we do things to take ourselves out of the circumstance of our lives and plug in creativity, plug in lessons for change, plug in opportunities and space for growth and transformation to happen. And it's getting uncomfortable with our stuff, with our trauma, with our past, our history, and starting to create from a different place. We don't need to always create from the do place. We need to create from the being place. And that needs to come in a safe environment that allows for that change to take hold, so that we can come back and be a better version of ourselves. So my call to all of you is that if you're feeling that you need to have space to create that change, do it. Take action. Maybe that space for you is carving out 10 minutes in your day to do your daily push-ups, or maybe it's 10 minutes to just sit and breathe. Or maybe you're feeling inspired that you need to immerse yourself into a retreat setting. Join us at the Naturally Brave retreats in Baja. It's an amazing experience. Whatever that call is for you. This year of Clear Vision 2020 is all about taking action and seeing the best version of yourself and choosing to operate from that identity and letting go of the identity that's no longer serving us. And we all have to do it. It's the challenge is upon us, and we have to choose it for ourselves. We have to choose that we're going to operate differently. We're going to step into this identity that's serving our healing power, or that's serving our our future aspirations, that's serving our community, that's serving our family, our tribe, our kids, and we have to step into it. That's kind of the only option there is. And so many of us are challenged with health issues. Maybe it's picking the right diet, maybe it's setting the intention for the year, maybe it's sticking to an exercise plan. How we do that is we choose a new identity. We choose to operate from the best version of ourselves. I had a patient that came in earlier today, and he had all these goals, and we talked about this on the Metabolic Fix program last night. And it's good to have goals. It's good to have short-term goals, things you're going to move towards: healthier diet, more exercise, more time with family, whatever that is. But you got to tie those goals to your bigger purpose. What are you doing here? What are you really doing on this planet? What are the life gifts that you have to give to the world? And how can you tie your short-term goals to that bigger goal? Because that's where the momentum is going to come. We have short-term goals of weight loss that take us for a couple of weeks, and you're going to be, maybe one of those people. I've been one of those people before too, which gets on a plan, everything's going well, and then all of a sudden things just fall apart, and you kind of forget that you had this new set point. Well, we need to establish our identity on a daily basis. How can you move into this best version of you? And how can you tie your short-term goals to your big goal, your big purpose, the big reason, your big why? And that can carry you forward. Us being who we are as doctors and teaching people, it's I find it really easy to move into a health plan because we have to live it to lead it. We have to teach people, and we teach people by doing it ourselves. So where can you experiment in your life? Where can you be a better parent, be more nurturing for a loved one, or maybe you're a caretaker, maybe you work as an accountant, and you maybe you can do those numbers better because you're coming at it with a different lens. Whatever it is, we just need to tie our big why to our small goals, and it really makes a huge difference in outcomes. So that's my 2020 message. I hope everyone had an amazing holiday. We've got some big, exciting changes happening at Divine Elements. We're activating our longevity lab, which is coming up real soon. We're about a week away from hyperbaric chamber, red light therapy, sauna, ajna light for shifting into an altered state of consciousness to clear through blocks and traumas. Lots of cool things. Come check it out when you're in the neighborhood. Come try out some of these therapies that are adding years and quality of life to our years. So that's my message for today. Lots of love to all you guys, and hope 2020 is better than expected.